and welcome back to another episode on Learn with Dylan. Today we have a very special guest, someone I've been following for a while on Instagram, Jimmy Judge, who does a lot of food eating contests, and you've actually grown quite a following on Instagram, which is amazing. So I'd love to get some insights off you around that. But yeah, just wanted to jump straight into it and we'll just fire away and just see how it goes. So welcome, Jimmy. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you. Cheers, bro. Thanks so much for having me.
That's all right. So yeah, first of all, get a little bit of a background of, I guess, how you started to get into food eating challenges, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, for sure. So give me 1 second. I'm going to move around because the sun's
No,
just
that's
coming
all
out
right.
blast
No
and
stress.
everything. Yeah, so when I was younger, I used to do boxing. So I was boxing for years and represented Queensland, went to the Australian titles. I was lucky enough to actually win the Australian title for boxing.
Wow.
But we were always doing like very weight restrictive diets. Obviously with boxing, you can't be too heavy. You've got a weight class. And I just remember always being hungry growing up. And then I used to, like self-inflicted hunger, but then I was thinking, man, I wish I could do these food challenges that I see on Man versus Food. I used to love that show when I was a kid,
yeah.
Watching the guy
Yeah.
on the Food Network, and he was like my hero. I was like, this guy's got the life. He's traveling around. He's eating whatever he wants. And then, when I got a bit older and I'd stopped boxing, like years and years later, they had some food challenges at a restaurant near near where I live. I did that, and that's pretty much been it ever since. I just haven't looked back. It's been so much fun, like traveling around and meeting people. So no, it's been great. It's been really good.
Yeah. So how long ago was it when you started? Do you reckon started getting seriously into it?
12 months ago, and
12?
I wasn't very serious at all. And
Yeah.
probably about a year, but 13 months. I started in June last year.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, with your
And then
yeah, go on.
yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, but it's just got a bit of lag. What were you saying, sorry?
yeah, just out of curiosity, with your Instagram account. So have you had your Instagram account for a while?
So I've had my Instagram account, probably what's the year now? Probably about 10 plus years, but it's only had like the food, like it's only been like food based content, like all my challenges and stuff. Probably this last 11 or so months. Like I've started 12 months ago. I started incorporating some eating challenges in with my just like my personal stuff, like just what's going on in my everyday life and stuff. Then the food started getting a lot more engagement. It was October last year that I had my first video hit 1 million views, and I was like, all right, well,
Wow, yeah.
I went from like 3,000 followers to like I think it was like 12,000. I was like, oh man, that's really great, and people are enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying making it. Like I found a real love for making videos. So then I sort of just swapped my Insta from more of a personal one to more just like a just the eating challenges sort of thing. And then since then, that's sort of probably only been like the last 6 months, honestly.
Yeah.
That it's actually like sort of picked up more, which is
because you've been getting around. Like I've seen you've been on Triple J, or you've been on a radio
Yeah,
show.
I was lucky enough to go on Triple M.
Oh,
Yeah,
Triple
Triple
M.
M.
Yeah,
I was on ABC the other day. I was on the Alpha Blokes podcast. That was like a really cool experience.
Yeah,
I've been really fortunate that I've got to meet a lot of cool people and go on a lot of cool stuff. Like even today, man, I appreciate today. It's always cool meeting new people, chatting, sort of letting people know about me. That's not just eating, and also letting them know about the eating too. So it's fun. Like I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying to you before, like the power of social media, like just being able to just reach out to you and be like, hey man, do you want to come on my podcast? It's awesome.
Crazy, man. Like, and incredible. And like we said before, that's the positive parts of social media for sure. Like, even from the eating stuff, I've got friends in the UK, I've got friends in America, I've got friends in the Netherlands now from the eating stuff because they all do it too. So we've all sort of been chatting and supporting each other, but there's no way I would have known all these people living in North Queensland, Australia, had it not been for social media. So there's definitely some pros to it. I think sometimes it gets a bit of a negative rap, but I guess that's also what you put into it. Like it could be a very negative place if you let it be, I guess, for sure.
And so you're still a personal trainer now, just out of curiosity?
No, so I was a personal trainer for years, and then COVID kind of destroyed that. Unfortunately. So then I was working in corrections, so I was working with the juvenile offenders, so I was a youth worker.
Okay, yeah.
For 3 years, so that was good. That was really rewarding. I met loads of good, I was mostly working with the boys, but loads of good lads there I was working with, and some of those boys are like 18, 19, 20 now, and you know, and they still message me on Instagram like, "Hey, bro, like, love your videos. We're doing really well." So it was good. I met a lot of good people through that. But there was a time for a change, so I went out to the mines, and that's really helped because I'm week on, week off. So with my week off, I'll travel around doing eating. So it sort of lets me do my eating one
That's
week,
amazing.
and then
Yeah.
I'll work the other week.
Yeah. So yeah, talk us through some of your favorite food challenges, like the most challenging one you've done, because you have a lot of videos up on your Instagram. But let's start with the hardest
Yeah.
challenge that you've done.
There's definitely been a few challenges that I haven't completed. I attempted one in Gladstone probably about a month and a bit ago, and it was just massive. I just ran out of time. I think it was like a 2.5 kilo palm. You had all these chips and salad and stuff. And it wasn't the volume that got me. It was just the fact, I just ran out of time. It was just
Okay.
so big.
Yeah.
But I think as well, it just comes down to practice and just like learning to eat a bit faster. But I think the hardest one I've ever completed was I was in Bali and there was like a 3 kilo burger that came out. It was pretty much like that.
Oh,
And I
really?
really didn't think I was going to get it. I really didn't think I was going to get it completed, but I did. So no, it was good. That's probably my favorite challenge I've ever done because it was the one that I definitely didn't think I was going to do.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I myself know how hard a 1 kilo steak challenge is because, as I said, that's the only challenge that I've done. And I remember it took me about 25 minutes to eat it, and I did it,
Yep.
and I got it for free. But about 4 hours later, I had to make myself throw up because it's just like too
Oh,
much.
so yeah,
Yeah, just too much meat in my stomach. So I'm definitely not,
yeah, I understand.
yeah, as into eating as big amounts of food now. I still love food, as you see, and that's why, yeah, I followed you, and I'm like,
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Yeah. So what would be some other sort of ones that really were really interesting or really funny ones?
I think one of the best ones I've ever done was
What's
basically
that?
I'm sitting outside and I've got the lawnmowers just started next to me. So
That's
um,
okay. It's an
I
imperfect
was like,
podcast. That's it.
yeah, my favorite one, I think, not my favorite one, but one of the most interesting ones is I went into my friends at Baskin and Robbins to
Yep.
do a challenge, and I was like, "Oh, hey, can I just buy this, and that to do some ice cream stuff?" And they said, "What if we just make you one? Like, what if we just give you one?" And I was like, "Oh, you don't have to do that." They're like, "No, let us do it." And I ended up putting 3 kilos of ice cream in a bowl for me, and I was like, "No way!" But that was probably the funniest one because I like was just I don't want to swear on here, but I was nervous as is basically. 'Cause I was thinking, man, hey, brother. I was thinking 3 kilos of ice cream. This could be potentially
Yeah.
hazardous. There's a lot of lactose, but that was good. It was fun. That was probably the funniest one because my face when they brought it out, I was just in.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of people do comment on your manners and your smile as well. So where do you get that from? Is that or just who you are?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty fortunate that I was like because mum and dad raised me to just really to be real appreciative of everything. And I think it also is from years and years of having like depression and whatnot like that. I think coming out the other side of it, it's really made me appreciate how good life is. Like I know it sounds really cliche, but for me personally, everyone's different. But for me, when I'm sort of more grateful and I smile more, and even if I'm not feeling great, if I sort of make myself try and be as happy as possible, I find that I actually start being happier. Like 'cause that's just how that's how I just normally feel. But also too, I think you never really know what other people are going through. So like I like being happy because it makes other people happy, and therefore seeing them get happy for me being happy makes me happy. So it's sort of this thing where I can feel when people are happy to see me because I normally try and uplift them as much as possible. Of course, it's no one's perfect. You can't be all the time. But just do that because that's what dad is to me. Like I'll be in a bad way and he always cheers me up. Like he's probably the funniest person I know. So I think I definitely got it from him. So I'm very fortunate that I've just been, lucky, I guess.
I love that. No, because I think a lot of people touch on that when I read through your comments and everything. Everyone's like, "Oh, he has such good manners and you're so polite." He always got a cheeky like monkey smile.
Yeah,
It's great. No, it's really good.
It's been super positive, man, and it's nice. It feels really nice, especially like we said with social media, to be getting props for something that comes natural. Like if I was putting on a bit of an act. I think I'd get really exhausted from having to
Yeah.
always pretend like I'm something I'm not. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I love that people love the videos, and I'm stoked that they appreciate the manners. Like, that's so cool. But this would be me regardless. So it's really nice that people like me for being me, because then I don't have to think about it. And then
Yeah.
also I meet people lately too. I've been meeting people like, oh, we watch your videos. And they'll be like, "Oh, you actually really nice in person," and it makes me really happy to know that
Yeah.
that it's not just what you see is what you get, and that makes me really happy that people have that feeling, which is cool. I'm super grateful.
No, that's awesome. And it definitely it rubs off. And I think this is where I've connected with you because I love food,
Yes,
and
yeah, absolutely, man.
I always say to people, I'm a pretty laid back person in general, but the one thing that just lights me up is just seeing a delicious meal. And that's
Oh,
why
man,
that's why I do
absolutely,
those food reviews,
yeah. Oh,
I'll just
bro,
yeah. Yeah, it's that connection that we have over food. And I think
absolutely.
I was thinking about the other day, food brings people together. When you think about like social outings or anything, or even family events, could be a baby shower, whatever it is, important things, there's always food around it. So
100%,
food is so important. And
Well, exactly right, 100%. Well, I guess like you said, everyone eats, right? What's one common thing that we all have? Like, we might not all like the same food, but everyone on this planet that's alive, we all eat.
yeah, true. Yeah, I saw one comment the other day too, where it was, I think you said back to this person that the funniest moment was when you were scoffing down a big burrito.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
in Bali.
Yeah.
In Bali.
Can you talk us through that? Because I found that hilarious.
Yeah, for sure, man. So a lot of the time when I'm doing these challenges, especially if the people coming into the restaurant are a little bit older, they obviously haven't grown up with social media like we have. I'll be doing an eating challenge, and like my camera's here, my camera will be like on a chair, but it's not really the full focus of the first thing you're gonna see when you walk in. So I was doing this burrito challenge in Bali, and I was like eating my hand, like shoveling this burrito into my face, and I was sort of had the camera propped up this way so I could sort of see the entrance. And this older lady's walked in, and she just was mortified. She was shocked. She almost went white, and she came in and ordered a meal. So I finished the challenge. I was just like a small one, so it was pretty quick. Finished the challenge, and then like cleaned up and went over and said, "Hey, like I'm really sorry that you had to see that. I'm just shooting some content, like I do food challenges." And then she was like, "I thought you were just eating like a pig." So honestly, the funniest things that I see, like I need to get a second camera. I've said this before, but I do. I need to get a second camera that faces out, because the reactions of some people that just don't understand what's going on, like they just think I'm a grub, just eating with my hands for the sake of it. So, some of the funniest things I've seen is just the reactions to people seeing me eat.
Yeah, that's great. I'd love to see that. You should definitely add that. Have one camera like just for,
definitely, yeah.
and I think it's
Just for
it's just
reactions.
then there's no context, so people don't know, and you're just sitting there smashing a massive burrito.
Exactly right. Oh,
So that's great.
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. All right. And I'm sure a lot of people would like to know, like, how do you stay so fit? I know that. I bet you've been asked that so many times. So what is your
Yeah.
process around, like, when you've got a big eating coming up? What do you do?
So, excuse me. Normally, I just figure it's like a balance. So, like, obviously, it's like, to keep your weight the same, you just want to eat at a maintenance, so however much calories your body needs to survive. But obviously, on these challenges, I'm eating a lot more. So, on the days after, I'll eat sufficiently less to sort of balance it out. And the days leading up to it, I'll eat less, but I won't eat nothing. A lot of people are like, "Oh, do you fast for days before? Do you not eat for days before?" But the thing is, when you fast, your stomach shrinks, and not crazy amounts, but it definitely doesn't stretch out as much as I needed to stretch out. So in the days leading up, I'll sort of eat normally, but I exercise loads as well. So I always make sure I'm still eating enough to give me energy to train well. And I just eat, particularly maybe 24 hours before, I'll have a massive feed of a couple of kilos of broccoli or watermelon or steak or something that's not super high calorie. Like I won't eat kilos of steak. I just have like a serving of steak and then add the kilos of like broccoli and watermelon. So there's not a load of calories, but it's still stretching that stomach to simulate eating a big food challenge and having that stomach stretch without gaining a bunch of weight from the practice. Then I'll do the challenge on the morning of a challenge. I'll wake up, drink a bunch of water, be fully hydrated so that I'm not thirsty when I'm doing the challenge. Then give it about 4 or 5 hours between my last drink, and then do the
If it's
challenge, then
so
that's me for the day. I'll only eat that challenge on the day. So if you see a really big challenge, that's all I would have eaten for that day. And then I'll be buff training the next day before I eat the next thing. So it's just balancing. Like if I have a super high calorie challenge, then the rest of the week will be more moderate food. If there's a couple back to back, then I'll sort of just try and balance it as much as possible. You know, unless I'm sick from the challenge, I'm never sick afterwards. I never make myself be sick. I never starve myself. I want to do this as healthy as possible. I want to keep it as fun as possible. I do this because I really enjoy it. I don't want to hurt myself or, deprive myself of anything.
Yeah. Have you seen Furious Pete? Do you know who?
Yeah, I love Furious Pete.
Yeah.
I was watching Furious Pete when I was in grade 11, and he's unreal.
So is there any other food challenge eaters that you sort of get tips off, or do you have a bit of a circle? Just out of curiosity.
Not so much like have a circle. There's definitely people I really look up to. There's like, Beard Meats Food travels around, and does all these videos for YouTube. So that's the goal. Like it'd be amazing to just travel around to different countries. Yeah, 100%. I have no desire to compete. I think on the grand scale of like competitive eaters, I think I'm very mediocre. You've got like your Joey Chestnuts, Jay Webby, all these guys. I'm nowhere near them. Like, I know that, and that's totally cool, but I sort of just want to stay in my own lane doing the food challenges against the restaurants. Like, always want to verse a restaurant, but in terms of like versing other people, or for me personally, I'm a very competitive person. I think it would sort of suck the fun out of it as well, because then, like, if I did do this big, if I, say I ate like, 25 hot dogs or something crazy, I'm like, whoa, like that's awesome. I'm happy with that. And then the other guy eats 60 hot dogs, and I would think, man, I'm shit. Like I'm very, I'm not good. Like I'm terrible. But these are also like professional eaters. They're the best in the world. I respect what they do. They're incredible. But I'm just stoked to verse a restaurant and win a shirt. Like I like more like the content side of things, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But I would absolutely love to like collaborate with, like your Beard Meats Food, Randy Santel, like all these people, America, England, like it's so cool meeting people. So like that's the goal is to just keep creating content and hopefully meeting like a lot of other content creators, because it's just, man, I've met some awesome people already.
Yeah. Yeah, as you said, you're getting around, like a lot of opportunities are opening up to you, and that is the power of social media. So that's awesome. And yeah, finally, you did say you wanted to sort of touch on some mental health and your charity that you've been doing some work for.
Yeah, yes. So I've been trying to raise money for Living. So it's a mental health organization. They do like education on mental health. It's actually, I really like them. Like they've got a clothing brand that they raise money for their like seminars and stuff. So go around, but just giving talks basically about letting people know about mental health and the signs and how you can help someone that might be experiencing mental health, or if you personally are experiencing mental health, things you can do for that. So I think that's like, I've lost a few friends to suicide. I've, struggled with anxiety and depression like my whole adult life. And, I think it's really important that, like, even with the social media stuff, like it's so easy to like, I myself get loads of lovely comments and it makes me really, really happy. And I still get loads of negative comments. I get death threats.
Where?
I get people like I delete a lot of them if they're really negative.
Yeah.
I try not to read the comments because they can be a bit disheartening sometimes.
Wow.
Like I try and respond to the nice ones that I see. And sometimes there's just too many comments for me to respond to, but I always appreciate nice comments. Always, if I can, I will respond to them. I never ever respond to anything negative. Because, like Grandma used to say, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I will never respond to negative stuff. But yeah, I got my first death threat the other day in my inbox, and I was like, man,
shit.
But I guess it's one of those things, the more eyes you have on you, the more you have to expect that. And I think going off the back of that, I would like to use that as a platform to let people know, like, it's not weak to speak. If you've got bad feelings, if you're not feeling good, it's important to know that you're not alone. Because I guess I can piggyback off it, which I'm very lucky. I've got a lot of eyes on me at the moment, and people are like, "Oh, you're so happy, and everything's so great," and it is. Everything is really good. But I still have days where the depression definitely, it definitely affects me, and I want people to know that they're not alone. You know what I mean? Like it affects me, it affects everyone in different ways, of course. And that's why I really like Living. It sort of puts more of a personal touch on. We are basically all connected, through this planet, through social media now as well. We are definitely all sort of fighting the same battle. it might look different, you know, different countries, different things. We have our own different versions of hell, but you know, I think it's really nice that we can all sort of get together, and that's why I really love living for, is letting people know that like we are all the same. Deep down, we all just want to be happy. We all want to be loved, and no one is always happy all the time. Because I used to feel guilty for feeling sad. I'm like, man, like look at my life. Even before social media and all this stuff, like I'm very blessed. I've got a great family, a great life. You know, unfortunate circumstances happen to us all. But yeah, I mean, like, I think that's what I love about that. And that's why I want to try and use this platform to spread a bit of positivity, but also at the same time be real, you know, like live on the bright side of life. But I would be lying if I said that every day I wake up and I'm like, oh, things are great. Like some days you just don't feel it, you know, some days you're just not feeling it.
Yeah. No, I was going to touch on it, but I lost the thought. You need to continue doing. No, that's all right. That's why I went into the like touching on mental health, because I was going to say something, but then I lost the train of thought. But one thing I wanted to say is how you were talking about being yourself, and you know how you know people really resonate with that, and they're like, oh, like you're actually you in person. So I think it does, like it shines out, like your positivity, and yeah, it's great. Like continue doing what you're doing at the moment, because people are noticing. People love food. I love food, and if you
thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hey.
No, don't stress. And if you continue, like something that I continually remind myself, if you want to do this for a long time, you've got to enjoy what you're doing. So as you said, like you're not trying to be like a competitive eater. So just continue doing it for fun, and great things will come from that. And they already have. So it's not like you're trying to like build a business out of it.
100%.
So that's what I was going to say is like,
I couldn't agree more.
Continue doing what you enjoy, because then like it naturally is going to build itself. So
yes, you know, 100%, and you know, I guess what we were saying before too is like even with growing the Instagram, I have tried in the past when I was doing PT, because I thought that's how I would get more clients. Like years ago, I was trying to build a successful Instagram, not even successful, but like a more engaged Instagram. But I wasn't really being myself, you know, because I was trying to be a salesman, because I was trying to sell a business, you know, and it wasn't it wasn't really authentic. You know, I would be a terrible salesman, because you know what I mean? Like what you see is what you get. So like, you know, like if you like it, if you don't, okay. So the coolest part with the Instagram growth for me is sort of just happened. Like I don't really have any secrets or tricks for it happening, other than I was just very lucky that the right people noticed, and it was sort of like I was lucky enough that people liked it for the authenticity. But like you said, it's one of those things where it's like a bit of luck does come into it, and then you've got to enjoy it as well. So I guess it's just also consistency, like just trying and trying and trying for years, and then sort of just stop trying, and then, you know, not stop trying, but stop trying to be something else, I guess.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think we'll keep it nice and short today. Always like a short podcast. I know you've got to run off.
I appreciate it, man. Sold at the mole in the background. Like I said, I'm moving houses today, so I've got nowhere to film, so we're outside. If it's it.
That's all right. It's the Imperfect Podcast.
I love it, bro. That's awesome. I appreciate it, man. I really do.
No worries at all. For anyone that wants to reach out to you, or is anything that you'd like to promote?
No, I think like, you know, what we said before, which is like the whole you're not alone sort of thing. Because I guess if I could do one thing with this channel, I was going to say challenge, challenges. If I could do one thing with this channel, it would be to just spread the message that, you know, like we are all together in this. Like, even though it doesn't feel like it, and there's just like a sense of community. Like, even with this Instagram thing, man, like, you know, we all love food, we all get along, we're all happy to be eating food. Like, life gets heavy, which is why I like making really light stuff. Like, you know, no agendas, just food, just, you know, just enjoyment. So I guess it's just that, like, you know, if I could say one thing, it would be like, you know, we're not all alone. We're all in this together. And, you know, if you do feel all alone, this is a perfect time to sort of reach out to someone, because someone somewhere does really care about you.
I love that. We'll leave it at that, Jimmy. Do appreciate you taking the time this morning to jump on.